The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed. Holy crap, I love this book. Stephen King is a fantastic author. He's really, really terrific. I've been a fan for years. Even before I ever thought about becoming an author myself, I thought Stephen King was really special. And I mean, everybody knows this. He's got so many movies based off his work. There are television shows. The guy's got major talent. So, a lot of people consider the Dark Tower series to be his finest work, and I've never gotten to read it until recently. And of course, I started with the first book, The Gunslinger. This is largely due because the movie is coming out, starring Idris Elba as the Gunslinger and Matthew McConaughey as the Man in Black. And if I wasn't excited for this movie before, I'm even more excited now that I'm kind of introduced into this world. And I'm going to try to read the rest of the books before the film comes out. The film's been pushed back to July 28th, I believe. So that gives me even more time. It stinks that I have to wait more and more, but if it takes them more time to make it perfect, I'm all for it. So the characters. We we start in this world which it's kind of hard to follow. There's there's a lot going on in this book. It has to build up this world which is kind of collapsing in on itself. It's a western, science fiction, fantasy, and horror all at the same time. So it mixes all these elements along with a couple other I'm sure that I'm missing, and it does it beautifully. Honestly, it's really really good. It's hard for me to kind of sum it up because there are times when you're not sure exactly what's going on, but that's kind of the nature of what the story is supposed to be because reality is literally folding in on itself. And it's kind of just starting out small in book one, and I imagine it's gonna start getting worse and worse as the series goes on. So as far as characters, I really like these characters. There's three characters that are featured throughout this book. There's the gunslinger, the man in black, and then there's the gunslinger, the man in black, and Jake Chambers. Now the gunslinger is kind of like a Clint Eastwood, Unforgiven type guy. He's he's kind of thrown into this world, into this adventure. He's not sure exactly why he's on the trail of this man in black. It's or maybe he knows and it hasn't been revealed to the audience yet. And I'm sure that will come. But you sense there's this history between him and the man in black, and yeah, the book almost reveals nothing and everything at the same time. And that's what's great about it. He's got this sense of weight and responsibility to him. He's complicated, yet at the same time he's very quiet and protective of himself. Um, and then you got the Man in Black, who's I'm excited to see Matthew McConaughey because as this character because it's perfect casting. I mean, I've seen the character in the Stand miniseries. Haven't read the book yet. Don't kill me. I've not read the book yet, but I like the miniseries, which has me more excited for to see more of the Man in Black. But he's the sorcerer that's going towards this dark tower. The dark tower is supposed to be the center of all existence. You know, it holds everything together. It connects this entire King multiverse, if that's what you want to call it. So the Man in Black wants to get there so that way he can control all of reality and do nefarious things with that power. And then the Gunslinger, it's not really specified yet why he wants to get there, other than to stop the Man in Black from getting there. And then you've got Jake Chambers. Jake Chambers is an 11-year-old boy who has dreamed about the Gunslinger, and this kid is thrown back in time and meets the gunslinger, and he's slowly starting to forget about his past life. And there's this complicated relationship that I'm not gonna spoil that's going on between the gunslinger and Jake. It's a question of trust, but it totally works. And these characters are very, very, very interesting. I'm excited to read more about them and for King to bring even more interesting characters. He writes really cool and really interesting characters. So, is this as good as The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, from which this has gotten its inspiration from? It's hard to say. It's its own thing. That's what makes The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit so magical, because they're special and they've inspired so many things. And I think The Dark Tower, years after it's been it's been out. I mean, the last issue came out. I think oh, the last book, not issue, came out in either 2001 or 2004. So it really hasn't been that long since the series ended. So I think especially after the movie comes out, it's gonna start becoming a bigger deal than it already is, especially to the mainstream audience that don't typically read books. But I think it just from reading book one, I think it stands on its own against Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. I mean, it's got so much imagination and there's fear behind it too. You don't want the Man in Black to get to the Stark Tower. You want the Gunslinger to get to it, even though you don't really know the Gunslinger's purpose. But you know that the power in the Gunslinger's hands is much better than having it in the Man in Black's hands. And the Man in Black, he's the perfect villain. And I'll always say this: he's charming, he's evil, he's the kind of bad guy you wouldn't mind having a drink with, but you wouldn't want to take your eyes off him either, because he's either going to stab you in the back or he's going to manipulate you into doing something for him. So I I wish I started reading this stuff earlier, because it's great. It's a difficult read. It's not for everybody. If you've read King's work before, it's even more out there than anything else he's ever worked on. But that shouldn't stop you from giving it a shot. First book, it's only 300 some pages long, so it's pretty short compared to some of his other works like It, Stamp, and the other books in the Dark Tower. It just gets longer and longer from what I've seen. I've got all of them. They're all sitting ready to be read, and I'm excited to move on to the Dark Tower too. I can't wait to see what these characters are going to go through and how the whole series ends, and then go see the movie and see how it compares. I mean, I'm not one of those people that expects the movie to be exactly like the book. I understand there has to be change, and I'm good with that, as long as you keep what makes the book powerful and important, and what makes the characters who they are. As long as you keep that, I think that's what's most important. Of course, you gotta follow the story for the most part, but making changes in your own interpretation is completely fine. I know some people will burn directors at the stake for changing things, but I'm not one of those people. Anyway, I would recommend not only getting the Gunslinger, but you might as well get the other 7 books too, and pick up some of his other stuff. Stephen King is a fantastic author, and if you've already read it, maybe you should think about reading it again before the movie comes out. I'm gonna try to read all of them and of course review all of them before the film comes out. Now, it was originally supposed to come out February 17th, and now it's moved to July 28th, like I said before. So the challenge is a little less daunting than it was before. So I think that goal is going to be really easy to meet. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I try to post videos once a week. My book Phantom Walk the Lost is now available on Amazon through Kindle and hard copy. Thank you.